It's Saturday. I lost track of the days this week because I've had 2 days off. I had Thursday, Friday off. So I went to see my nana yesterday, which was lovely. I had difficulty getting there because the trains kept cancelling because of the heat. I don't know why. Signal boxes, trains, I don't know. You know, it's like in the UK, any kind of extreme weather and everything stops working. We can't cope. But yeah, I had a bit of trouble. And then on the way back, I just thought, never mind, just get a taxi. So I just paid for a taxi to get home. But it was lovely. I bought lots of nice bits for lunch. I got a lemon cheesecake, strawberries, fresh, thick, extra thick cream. My auntie was there and we all sat and just stuffed our faces, which you got to do every now and then. Nana's 97 now and she's still got a really hearty appetite. But she is at that point now where she needs some extra help. She's got a stair lift seat that goes up the stairs, and the bathroom's upstairs, but they've only just recently put her bed in the living room. So my auntie Annie is staying over every now and then and helping her with washing and stuff like that. And then obviously got uncle that goes down as well. And I need to start going more regular now because she's going to need the help. So I'm going back down in a few weeks. I'm going to blitz the house. Yeah, that was yesterday. So it wasn't great to see how unwell she's become quite quickly, but it was absolutely lovely to catch up and sit with her and eat nice things and catch up with my auntie as well. So today we're back to, I know we said it was going to be a winter project doing my sewing room, and then I don't know for you of those that don't really know Mike that well, you can't just say let's leave that to winter with Mike. When you say let's do this and he has a project in his head, he goes with it. That's it. So we're on with it. But I'm okay with that because it means I'm going to get a beautiful sewing room. I'll be decorating it in the winter. That'll be for me to do, and that's definitely going to be a winter job. But building it all and getting everything in there will just mean that my room in here I'll be able to keep it tidy. Fancy that. Can you imagine? Be able to keep it neat and tidy. And probably finish it as well because it does need finishing, and get it all finished. That'll be nice as well. So yeah, that's what I'm doing today. I've got some little units that my fabrics are going to go in and all sorts of bits of storage, bits and bobs as well. So I'm going to build those while Mike is in my room, my sewing room. I'm taking over the house. While he's in there doing his thing, but I think he's putting shelving in. So yeah, I'll show you my little units and we'll get those put together. Don't you just love this cabinet building? To be fair, I've already done one of these and it's not that bad. It's actually, if I really cracked on, I'd get it done in 10 minutes each. There's 6 of them. And they're actually not bad quality, to be fair. So I don't mind. Easy enough. Hang on. Where have I put my scissors? Right. I don't need the instructions for this. It is that easy. You literally put your dowels in. I'm really looking forward to it. Mike's in there doing his thing. I'm in here doing my thing. It's one of those days where we work as a team and it's quite nice. I like it that way. Okay.
So I've got two really nice pieces of shelving, and I think I know where I'm going to put them.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to put them up there.
We've been having a discussion about where shelvings are going to go and where these are actually going to go. When we have those chats, we're probably better off putting the camera on so you can see what the thought processes are when we're doing that type of thing, because we do it all the time and don't record it. But of course at the moment you just get into it and you think, right, let's talk this through. You don't think, let's get the camera set up and then talk it through. You just kind of, especially when Mike's wanting to get on, and of course I'm wanting him to get on, we just get on and do it. So there's a lot of stuff that we chat through first before we come to a decision on what we're doing. But I can always show you what that, I can talk you through what we've been chatting through and where we're thinking of putting things. I've got to try and picture how I am when I'm sewing and the type of workstations that I need and where I need things to hand. I know from being in here and never having anything within reach, or not knowing where something is, and it's really frustrating. So that is quite important that we do discuss it properly, think it through and get it all set up, just so it's not the end of the world if something goes in the wrong place. It's a sewing room, for goodness sake. But it would be nice if we can think it through properly and get it done. But of course, I've had 2 days off. This is the weekend and I've got to go back to work, so it would be nice if I could at least get the room in some kind of working order before I go back to work on Monday.
I'll show you where I'm thinking of putting these shelves then.
Yeah.
Yeah, so these, which Cheryl's making, these are going here. They'll probably go up to about here by the time we've stacked them. So I'm thinking of putting some shelves up there, but so that Cheryl can reach them. I've got about 6 foot of shelving, and I think that's a good place.
Yeah.
You happy with that?
Yeah, we thought about over here, but the sockets are all here, and that's kind of the best place for my ironing area, my ironing board. So we're going to leave this space here free. Oh yeah.
And that's your cutting table, or will be?
Yeah.
Will be.
Will be.
Got that to board out, and there's still a lot to do. But if I can just get it, or if we can just get it functional, as you say, then you can get all your sewing stuff out of there. And then that room, your dressing room, is finished. It's a dressing room, not a dressing room, sewing room, office.
Yeah.
Become dressing room and office.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just one little tiny thing I've noticed on these when you're banging a nail in.
Yeah.
Because it's a soft ply, as you're hammering, sometimes the veneer is slicing a little bit, it's splitting, so you've got to just be a little bit careful if you're a bit close on the edge. I've got some stickers that can go over it and fix it. A little bit of glue, it'll go back. Once everything's in it, you won't see it, but it is quite soft and easy to split. That's the only thing I would say. This is the last one. Oh, look a little bit bedraggled. This is the last one to put together, and then all I've got to do is move everything out of here into my lovely new sewing room.
Hey. So, in Cheryl's sewing room, this will be the cutting area. I think I've mentioned that before, but it's too narrow. So I'm fabricating a new top. You actually won't see a great deal of difference because the new top is the same material as this, but I also want to make it wider. See if I can show you. So that's actually where I want the top to finish, right on the end of here. But as you can maybe see, there's a gap down the back. That gap runs from about 6 inch down to about 6 3/4. Anyway, new top needed. I'll just take this board off and have a look, see what's actually, I haven't lifted it up yet, just a moment. So if you watch the video where I made a bed, literally, and boxed in this is the bit that goes over your stairs, so the ceiling is in there. Anyway, I built a frame, put those in to give me a little bit more height. None of those are actually fitted, and I don't need to be fair. Anyway, there it is. I'll go cut some boards. So that's the new board that I've cut. This is nice, clean and flat. Yeah. See, that is, well, 6 1/4. And at the other end, it's nearly 7. Obviously, this wall is running out, meaning it's wonky, you know. But that's a nice fit into the wall. I don't think I want to move that much. Let me just have a look again. Six 1/4. That's 7. So that's a half an inch. What I could do, I've got this batten, a bit of architrave, but it's not a half an inch. But I have got some that is a piece of timber. So I don't want to move this board because it's nice and flat to that wall. It's true here, along here. So I'm going to cut a piece at 6 1/4, which will mean it's stood off the wall at that end, but I'll put batten on just to cover that. Okay, I'll go cut the timber. Right, there it is covered. The eagle-eyed amongst you will have noticed that this isn't fastened. What I have got to do is glue it down. I don't want to put any screws in it because Cheryl wants a flat cutting area. But anyway, and you look at this, look. So that's Cheryl's cutting mat, which just about covers it, to be fair, but she's got a good stable area to work at, and she can reach up here, even with this board further this way. So she got a nice little shelf usable. Okay, so what's left to do? Well, what I want to do is put a bit of trim round the edge. I think what I'll do is wait while we decorate to do that. But the other thing I have got to do is see if I can show it. Yeah. So here, that's just a bare edge. But we've got, here it is, we've got some of this edging strip which goes along the edge of there. You just iron it on. There's some there which is a bit wider. So we'll see which one of those is best. The front is a factory fitted edge, so that's great. Right, that will do for that for now.
I have got sticky stuff remover, but because this is kind of near enough dried and it's not sticky as such anymore, it'll just scrape off. It's not that important. There's going to be a bead that goes across here at the back of the wall anyway, but I just thought, well, do it properly. If you're going to do something, do it properly. So I'm going to scrape all these bits off, all the main chunky bits. Scrub it with a greenie. To be honest, if it doesn't need a bead across, we won't put one. But if it does need one, it can have one. Doesn't matter. Mike's just been up, he's been in the garage and he's been making a support that goes in here for helping us when we're decorating. So it's just this little piece down here, there. And you see that? I'll show you where it's going to go. There. So I won't put it in, I'll let Mike put it in because he knows where it's going to go. I think it's just going smack bang in the middle, I think. But it's to support this, so we can actually, you know, cover it and stand on it and walk on it without worrying about it. It's very strong, this. I've still got to sand this down because that's quite sharp. So it just needs a little bit off it just to blunten it a little bit. That it really is sharp, that edge. But yeah, it's so we can get up here and sort all of this out and strip. It's actually quite a nice thing to stand on. But yeah, I'm putting blinds up. This, when we put the curtains up, that wall and that wall are awful for trying to drill into and put plugs in and all of that. The pole was just horrendous to try and put up. So it's going to be blinds. I prefer blinds anyway. So that's the plan for that. He's back in his garage sorting and tidying. At the moment he's getting a little bit frustrated because he can't find anything, and that's because he hasn't quite finished putting everything where it should go. Once everything's where it should go, he always just goes straight to it. He knows where everything is, but at the moment he's a bit upside down, so he's pulling out what's left of his hair. There's not a lot left. Do you want to watch this bit? Hang on. Are you ready? I love this. I love old wallpaper. Right, you ready? Hang on. Here we go. Let's put that there. There you go. It's almost like it's sort of like a Japanese Acer tree type of pattern. What do you think? Is that focused properly? Yeah. That's kind of cool. Obviously you can't see what colour it's been. It won't have been anything like that colour because it's been pasted on and papered on top, but what a sweet little pattern for a little bedroom. Sorry, things like that make me smile because I'm quite traditional and a little bit old-fashioned when it comes to my tastes. I like finding things like that. I always think things like that, they'll do a turnaround and come back, and then some things that never go out of style, like William Morris. But yeah, I'm quite pleased with that little find. I didn't actually mean to strip all that much off, but it just came off. But that's a good thing because this bit here won't take much steaming at all. What's left is very thin, so that'll just come off really easy when I steam it. Now you might be thinking, well, honestly, why don't you just get on with it and decorate it now? Well, the thing with this and with the whole of the renovation, and I know it frustrates a lot of people when they say, you know, why don't you just do this and do that and then do this? When you work full time, and when we first moved in, we both worked full time. Then it was just me working full time, and Mike's now retired. I do a 40-hour week, and it really is a proper 40-hour week. I mean, it really is sit at your laptop, focus. I have meetings most of the day, all day, with different people, one after the other, sometimes back to back. And then I have a lot of papers to mark as well. I love my job. I'm good at it and I really enjoy it. But it is a full 40-hour week. So doing house renovations, I squeeze things in. So if I've got time to do this little thing in the middle of the week on an evening, then I'll do that one little thing. And if on a weekend I've got something that'll take me, it's like if you say, well, why don't you wallpaper the whole house? If you've got everything set up and your big tub of wallpaper paste and you've only got 2 days, you can't do all of the wallpapering. I have to do it in parts. So Mike will schedule things in. He'll think, okay, this is how much time Cheryl's got this weekend, because he wants me to have time off as well. It is nice to be able to have some Cheryl time. So he kind of schedules things in and thinks, okay, well, if she does that job, that'll take her an hour. She could do that then. If she does this, that's going to take her a full day. And he'll line things up for me so that I don't have to think about it. Because if it got to the Saturday morning and I thought, okay, what am I going to do today? I'd be half a day trying to work out what it is that I need to do today. So Mike spends a lot of time doing all the plan, all the prep. So by the time I get up, I've walked Willow, I've had my breakfast, and I can come straight to it. All the tools are there, the glue, the tape, the wallpaper paste, the table, everything's set up ready for me to go and do that job. So I know it's difficult and sometimes frustrating when you see me doing the house and thinking, why did you do things in that order? Why didn't you do that? I'm starting a sewing business this year. I know. It's crazy. But I love sewing as well, and that's the thing that I do that helps me relax, and it's something that I'm preparing for over long term to support me in retirement and to top up my retirement fund. I'm starting this year because I've been thinking about it, planning it. I'm getting my sewing room. If I decorate this first, it will take me a good, on top of everything else that needs doing, a good 3 weekends before I get into here and finished, and this room I won't be able to use it. So I'm getting my cutting area ready. I can start cutting, I can start my sewing business. It means, everything in here is just coming together beautifully. Mike's going to strip it, so he'll do that while I'm working during the week and don't need my sewing room. He'll do all of that and prep it, and then by the time we come to it, it'll be winter. It'll be coming on end of autumn, and I'll be ready to decorate this room, and then I can just pull stuff out, decorate it, put everything back, and there you go. So we don't always get right. Sometimes we do things and we change our minds and we redo things, and sometimes we get it wrong. But when you work full time and it really is a full-on job, we just kind of do things best we can in the order that we do it, really. So yeah, don't know why I ruffled on about that, but I just thought I'd explain it if you're thinking, just strip the wallpaper, Cheryl. I haven't got time today. I ain't got time to be talking to you. Oh, yeah, of course I have. So yeah, I'm going to crack on, get the cutting board area ready. Mike is in his garage and he's getting ready to come up and do his bits. He's going to help me once I'm ready to glue. So yeah. Oh, there's a mess in here. Why did I do that? Sorry about that. I was touching it because the camera went off. Losing it today. There's a mess in there from bits that I've been stripping, and I could just lay the top on top, but that would drive me absolutely nuts. So in there, I'm just going to scrape all the bits out and give it a hoover, and then I won't forever and ever have a little monster in the back of my head saying, it's a mess under there, it's a mess under there. Right, that's hoovered and tidied out. So I'm going to go and get Mike and we'll start the gluing. Right, ready for gluing. Mike's with me behind the camera, Mr. Cameraman, thank you very much. Gorilla wood glue, 100% tough. Looks a little bit like Mike. Anyway, just a couple of blobs, he says. So, a little bit there, is that enough?
Yeah, twice, 3 times. Go towards the wall.
Yeah.
That's it, that'll do.
Yep. There you go.
Sit. Push your thing down. Now put this on.
Yep.
That's it. Did you mention why you put the tip on?
I don't know why I'm putting the tip.
Oh, it's because you're going to put some glue on this edge. Yeah.
Right.
And it's just so it puddles and then just run off.
Right, okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. Right, glue. Enough.
Oh, yeah.
Whoops.
All the way to the end. And this end a little bit. Okay. Oh, hang on. You want your glue on here now. Go to here.
Yep.
Is there a gap in that corner?
Yeah.
Why, I said. Now keep pushing it. Just lift it up. Sit it. That's it. Wow.
No, that don't fit. It's on the wrong way, I think.
Well, I can always keep pushing then. Yeah.
Not really. It's really scruffy. Before
Well,
it was on flush before, so it needs turning round.
I do. There you go.
All right, it's on, glued. Little bit of a hiccup, but it's done. That's my cutting area finished. Just needs a little bit of a tidy up, let it dry, clean it up a little bit. I've got a little bit of edging that just irons on, and that'll go along the side where it's rough, and then it'll all be finished. Alright, so my iron's just heating up, getting that nice and hot. What you don't do is put your iron directly onto that. You need a little bit of, just a tiny bit of paper as a guide to stop that from burning and bubbling. So I'm going to centre it, just put a little dab of glue on just to hold it in place, and then off we go. Now the glue bit didn't work, but anyway, just gonna iron. It's a little bit like when I'm doing interfacing on fabric, it has like a special glue on it, and you just have to take your time with it and smooth it towards the edge. Yeah, put a little bit of tape on to hold it in place. Only because it's been wrapped round her in a circle, so it kind of want to stay bent until you've got it straight. Alright, let's take the tape off. Do these end bits. Yep, so I lined it up at the top, but there is it is to fit, but there's a tiny little lip at the bottom just to sliver off with a Stanley knife. If we're bothered, it literally is 1/2 mil, if that, under there. It's fine. Alright, let's do this end bit. There we go. Not perfect. There's a couple of nicks because we've put this on, and it's got, you know, a couple of little bangs, but it's not a dining table. It's not an expensive piece of furniture or anything. It's a sewing table. It's a cutting table, so it will get some bangs anyway. But that's overall, that's it, and I'm really, really, really pleased with it. Happy Sharon. Yeah, put my cutting mat on. There we go. That's my cutting station. Thank you very much, Mr. Watson.
Okay.
Next job. Right, I'll talk you through what I'm doing for the rest of the day. I do have to have a little tidy up in my sewing room, as always. But, I mean, it's an awful lot more organised than it used to be. Yeah. Cutting area. So, for the rest of today, I've got, and then I'll give you a little bit of an extra update as well. So, we had the radiator removed in here, and it was a bit of a skanky old one anyway, and then what we did was we put a radiator cover on it, and what the radiator cover became was a table for putting stuff on, just collecting junk. Now this house in the winter stays really warm. We've never, since moving in here in 2 years, have ever, nearly 2 years, turned the radiator on here. It's never been on. So we've had it taken off, and the give me a chance to give all this a good scrub. This hasn't been painted, so I can get that done as well. Maybe not today, but it will be on my list after giving it a good scrub. I've got these to fill, but back going on here is going to be a real nice new, brand new, sleek radiator, and just big enough for the room really, because it was a big FD old thing and it wasn't needed. So else in here, the decorator's been, I'm sure Mike's shown you our beautiful ceiling, our beautiful new ceiling. Yeah, he has. I'll show you it again because I love my beautiful ceiling without a hole in it. Yeah, so I've got all of these bits of snagging where he's been very neat, very tidy, but we put some tape up and it's still a little bit of mess. So I've got some snagging to do on there. So I've got that bit to do. There's a little bit of marks here and there where it needs a wipe down. We've had plastic and fingerprints and blah, blah, blah. So that all wants doing. Yeah, I've got all my kit ready for me there, and some dust sheets and stuff, so that to do. And then there's a few little bits of snagging around here there where we've just caught it. So I've got a little bit of white paint. Actually, yeah, if I've got the white out, I might as well do that skirting as well. Why not? Let's get it done. Some little snags as I go around. This unfortunately got caught. Ouch. So that needs a teeny tiny little bit of filler, sand it, and then repaint. And then there's just some little snaggy bits, teeny weeny bits that need sorting. This paper, well, look at this. It looks so much better. We've got Marilyn up. And these are Mike's photography. These are photos he took in Scarborough that I absolutely love, and I had them done in black and white, and they're going down the stairs. We've got some more, not framed, but I've got plenty more that Mike took in Scarborough that are somewhere on a storage disc. So I'm going to get a couple more, have them printed and framed exactly the same and put them up as well, because I love his photography. And it's just a shame to have them stuck on a storage disc somewhere and not on your walls. So yeah, getting that done. And then we've got some wall space there as well. But this paper, yeah, I mean, gosh, it's made such a difference. But it's like a fabric. So as the decorators trimmed it at the end, it's been quite tough to trim it because it's a very thick fabric paper. And it isn't fabric, it's very thick, so it's got like little fibres, is what I mean, lots of fibres, thick paper fibres. So we did need it because the wall was terrible. We had a thick lining paper under here, and under that the walls were terrible, even though we sanded them and filled them and did with best. And I think now it looks as smooth as it's ever going to be. Looks good. So it's a good choice, this paper. I'm also doing this paper in the bedroom, but in a champagne colour. I'll show you that. But of course, as he's gone down with his knife, there are little bits here and there where I need to tidy it up going down. So I've got a fair bit to do where I've got to just snag it and get the green paint out. And there's a little bit downstairs. I'll just show you where. It happens. He's done the ceiling, which is a beautiful white, but as usual, you get the drips and splashes. I'm going to be wallpapering this wall, so I want to make sure all of these, I don't have any lumps of paint underneath, so I've got those to scrape off. And then there's little dribs here and there that all need sorting all around here. So it's just a case of going round with my beady eye. Quick update on me and Mike. Mike's been on Ozempic. As you know, they are treating him on the NHS for his diabetes, and he's lost 6 pounds now. So it is actually starting to work, and he is still on a low dose. I think partly the hot weather, we're not eating much at all. We don't want to have hot cooked dinners or anything. That's just typical of summer and hot weather. I've lost 8 pounds and I'm stuck there, but I'm okay with that at the moment. I'll have to do a separate video on that and how I've done it and the way I've been doing it, because it's been a little bit up and down. I think when I lose weight fast, it goes on fast, and then I tend to put more on than what I lost. So when I lose it slow, it kind of plateaus, stays there, and then it'll go, like at the moment I'm 12.6, 12.7, 12.6, 12.7, 12.6, 12.7. sometimes even 12.8 and then back to 12.6 again. And it'll do that for a while, and then once my body kind of lets go of that 12.6, it'll go 12.5, 12.4, and then I'll stay around about there for a bit, and it'll be 12.5, 12.4, 12.5, 12.4. And that way, when it goes off like that, I tend to lose it and keep it off for an awful lot longer unless I go stupid. But I'll tell you all about that. I am still having nice treats. My treat of the day is an ice cream, and I have to say, if I don't have my cornetto or similar ice cream at least once a day, particularly with it being hot, I do sulk a little bit. That is my absolute one treat. But I have given up. Well, no, I haven't given up. I have stopped drinking wine, and there's an awful lot of food and snacks and rubbish that I've also stopped eating because I've stopped drinking wine. I think I have mentioned that before, but I'm going to go into it in an awful lot more detail on a separate video because it won't interest everybody. But for some people, weight loss specific videos are very interesting. So I'm going to talk you through that and my health as well. I'll give you an update on my health because I've got a wellness check coming up in August. The wallpapering of the bedroom, that I've got to wait until I've got at least 3 days off, so a long weekend. So you won't see a video of me finishing the bedroom wallpapering, decorating until I've got those days off, and that's going to be August time. It might be the end of August, bank holiday, that type of thing. I'll see how I get on. If I can get an extra day off before then, I'll get cracking with it, but it's likely going to be probably more towards the end of August. But there's plenty more for me to be getting on with, for goodness sake. So with that, I'm now going to finish that video here. And as always, I'm going to say thank you so much for always supporting us, watching us, commenting. I know I often don't get time, but I do read the comments. I read all of them. Can't always reply, but I really appreciate them. So thank you so much again. And oh, I'll see you on the next one. Bye.